In this training, we're going to look at creating content structure and building content directly in D2L Brightspace. From my course homepage, I'm going to go to the content area. And from here, I can see that there's already one unit folder that's been built in with content existing inside of it. If the left-hand column doesn't look like this, you may be experiencing the old content view. To toggle to the new view, click the drop-down at the right here and turn on the new content experience. For this training, we're going to create a new unit and provide it a title. You can add a due date if you want a reference for when students should have completed all the activities within this unit, or you can just leave that blank. You can also create availability dates when the content will either become available or stop being available. You can enter one or both of these, so you can just have a start date if you want it released at a certain date, but left open for the remainder of the term. In the description, you could put details of the items that will be covered in this unit or the broad expectations that are going to be covered. By default, the unit folder is going to be hidden. This means that all the files inside of it will also be hidden to the students by default. I'm going to leave it like that for now and save and close. With the unit selected, I'm going to go to Create New, and I'm going to create a lesson folder. This is simply a subfolder to help me organize multiple files for the students on smaller topics. It's going to look very similar with the same functionality. I'm going to give it a title, I can put a description in here, and apply a due date or availability dates as needed. In this instance, I'm going to make this visible and save and close. You're not required to use lesson folders. It's simply an organizational structure if you're going to have multiple files related to a single topic. Now within this, I'm going to create new and make a new document. This is where we're going to build actual content within the platform. I'm going to give the lesson a title. Again, I can assign a due date or availability date if required. I can also choose to use a template. These are built-in structures that are provided by Brightspace to provide a framework to put the content in. Some of them have some interactive features such as accordions or tabs that students can use to click around and help to organize your data. From here, the content page really appears as a word editor. I'm going to maximize the screen to make editing a little more simplistic and begin devising the content. I can use the navigation or HTML bar up here to provide formatting. Most of the functionality up here should be familiar to you from basic word processing. There are several buttons, however, that build a little more functionality into the page. The Insert Stuff button allows us to embed or insert items that exist outside of the D2L environment. This can be something like a computer file. I can create a video note that records a webcam video, any item I've uploaded to my media library, a YouTube video which will embed it onto the page, links, embed codes you pull out of any other sites, as well as videos that exist in Learn 360. For example, if I click Learn 360 and conduct a search for a topic, I'm going to see that I have a number of titles here. After I've previewed and chosen one that's appropriate, I can choose to embed. And in this instance, I'm going to embed it large. I'm going to allow the URL and insert it directly into the lesson. This is now going to appear here for the students to see. Another useful button is the Insert Quick Link. This allows me to link directly to anything that I've already built in Brightspace D2L. So perhaps I've built an assignment or a quiz that goes along with the video that they've just watched. I can put that in right there. Simply by scrolling down to the appropriate area, choosing it, it will bring me up a list in this instance of quizzes I've already built, or I can build a new one right here. Click on it, and it's going to give me a link to it. And I can provide some instructions. If you're linking to external websites, I would recommend using the quick link URL function. And the reason for that is we can designate where the target's going to be, whether it's replacing the entire window, the same frame, so embedding it within the content area, or replacing the content specifically, or going to a new window. My recommendation is that by default you would have it open to a new window if it's going outside of the D2L platform. The Insert Link button from Insert Stuffs by default will embed it in the existing content and replace the content that is already there. There's also a math equation editor, so you can create different equations within the content. There are also different items that can be inserted into the document. Clicking on the plus sign with the drop-down arrow beside it opens up a list of other things that can be added, such as a divider, emojis, symbols. Insert Practice allows us to have manipulatives or practice items that are interactive embedded directly into the content. By Insert Practice, I can do drop-down, fill in the blank, multiple select, multiple choice, sequencing, sorting, or true and false questions. They're going to appear dynamically inside the note. These are not for formal assessment purposes, but simply reinforcement of the content that's been provided. The students will be able to see whether they've got their answers or choices right or not, but nothing will ever be recorded or transferred over to a gradebook. The element insertion allows for the insertion of some different styles or different functionalities that may make the page a little more dynamic. We have accordions, tabs, click and reveal, call out, a timeline, stylized quotes, or flip cards. These allow these interactive functions to be inserted directly into the middle of content. Just a point of note, neither practices nor elements can currently be inserted into any existing ministry curriculum. If you have any knowledge or are interested in coding within HTML, you can also view the source code for the page by clicking the double brackets and arrows here. This will open up a source code editor where you can hard code other items that you may want to include. This is a bit of an advanced feature and requires a specific skill set. Once I'm done with my document, I'm going to minimize the screen. I'm going to make this revealed and save and close it. So I can now see my structure of a unit, a lesson, and then content within the lesson itself. Right now, only the unit is hidden, meaning that students will not be able to see any of this by default. If I want to preview that, I'm going to go up to my profile name and view as student. And I notice when I click the content area, all I am seeing is that. Simply by toggling on that unit folder, I'll now allow the students to see everything inside of it. This is just a quick and easy way to shut off entire sections to students, and then I can tweak and hide items individually as I want once I've opened up the entire unit.